Hello everyone, wishing you all a very good afternoon. I hope all of you are safe, happy, healthy. Am I audible and visible to all of you? Can you hear me? Can you see me? No one can hear me? Am I audible, visible to all of you? Good afternoon, Niharika. How are you? Abhiram, Vishal, Tanu, are you all there, beta? Can you all listen to me? Can you all see me? Can I have some raised hand that we are doing good? Niharika, I'm fine. I hope you are fine too. Chalo, good afternoon, Tanu. That means I'm audible and visible. So let us start with where we finished in the last class. And I think we were doing some free body diagrams. I had given a question for homework to draw the free body diagram. And I'm very happy that Niharika, you have solved it and your solution is completely right. So that is it. Let me also do one or two more diagrams so that we can go ahead with questions after these diagrams. So let me give you one or two more diagrams on this to draw the FBDs. As I told you, beta, everyone, that the first thing and the most important thing in this chapter and the chapters which are coming is to draw the free body diagrams. If you can draw the free body diagrams correctly, the question gets solved then and there itself. If there is a slight mistake, even the slightest of mistake in this free body diagram, and you will never get your answers. So here is a small diagram that I've drawn for you. Can you draw the free body diagram of this body? How many bodies are there? I think there are 3 bodies. And how many strings are there? I can see this as string number 1, and I can see this as string number 2. So there are 3 supposed to draw the free body diagram of M1, M2, and M3. Can we have that free body? Can we have that free body diagram? How will you draw this free body diagram? Anyone would like to help me? Let us strings. This is string number 1. Let me call the tension as T1. This is also T1. The string is going to pull the pulley. This is also T1. This is also T1. This string is going to pull everything. This is a case where you have a pulley and 2 strings are coming down and 1 string is going up. So there is no relation between T1 and T2. So you have to say T1 separately and T2 separately. So this string 2 is going to pull this block T2 with T2, pull this pulley with T2, again pull this pulley with T2, again pull this mass with T2. So what I have drawn here is that I have drawn all the tensions. Do we understand this? Can I have some raised hand that we understand this, sir? I have drawn all the tensions, keeping in mind that tensions are different. There are 2 different strings. Tensions are different, and tensions only pull. Niharika understands this. What about the others? Tanu, Vishal, Tarun, Shilata, we're all there. We all understand this. Abhiram, well done. Okay. Now, let us start with drawing the free body diagram. Tension is drawn. Let us draw the other forces. On this block, there is the force of gravity, M1G. There is no other force. So this becomes the free body diagram of M1. Let us now move on to M3. The only other force acting on this block is the force of gravity, M3G. And here is this, M3G. T2 upwards, M3G downwards. That's it. Now let us draw the free body diagram of M2. T1 is acting in this direction. T2 is acting in this direction. Correct. What about the other forces? M2G, force of gravity, which is always acting vertically downwards. I have drawn it. Is there any other force? Yes, you must understand that it is kept on ground. This is ground. So this ground is going to give it a normal reaction. Yes, Niharika, that normal reaction will go up. Let me call it as N2. Then it is mass 2. And this entire thing becomes the free body diagram of M2. Do we all see this? Do we have drawn this? Can I have raised hand that we understand this, sir? That we understand how to draw the free body diagram of M1, M2, and M3. Anyone has any doubt? Anyone has any doubt? Please raise your hands. If you have doubt, I can clear them right now. So, as you can see, if we just draw the free body diagram patiently, remembering what all forces we have to draw: gravity force, tension in the string, tension always pulls, then the normal reaction from ground. We should be good enough. We should be able to solve any question. Now, coming to what type of questions we will encounter in this particular chapter. The first and the simplest type of question that we'll encounter here are known as questions on equilibrium. Questions on equilibrium. Questions on equilibrium. Equilibrium of bodies is the next heading. Equilibrium. Questions based on equilibrium. What do you mean by equilibrium? Anyone could tell me. What is equilibrium? What does equilibrium mean? The word equilibrium. We will be encountering this word many times from now onwards. From this chapter till the end of your year, you will be encountering, even in your 12th standard, you will be encountering this word equilibrium. What do you mean by equilibrium? Anyone? When we say a body is in equilibrium, we mean to say the net force acting on the body is zero. F net. If there is no force acting on the body, when I might be forces acting on the body, but the net resultant force is a vector, also seen vector addition. Acting on this body is zero. Net force on a body is zero does not mean. It means that whatever forces are acting, they are cancelling each other. So that the net force acting on the body is zero. Do we understand this? Do we understand this? What I mean by net force zero does not mean that there is no force acting on the body. Abhiram, net force equal to zero means whatever forces are acting on the body, they are cancelling out each other. Now, net force is zero. What does that imply? You have to look at the implications. Net force equal to zero, it implies that if the it will remain at rest. If the body is at rest, it will remain at rest. Or if the body is moving with a uniform velocity, it will continue its motion. Net force acting on the body is zero. That means if the body is at rest, it will remain at rest. Or if the body is moving with uniform velocity, it will continue its motion with the same velocity. So for net force equal to zero means I can understand it in two ways. The body is at rest, or the body is in, or the body is moving with uniform velocity. Or I can also understand this acceleration of the body is zero. So equilibrium means all these things. All these things stand for the same thing. It is said many times in physics that if a body is at rest or if a body is moving with uniform velocity, they are same. It's very difficult to differentiate between rest and uniform velocity because rest and uniform velocity actually is talking about the same motion. So equilibrium means the net force acting on a body is zero. If the body is at rest, it will remain at rest. If the body is moving with uniform velocity, it will be moving with the same uniform velocity. Or in short, acceleration is zero. That is what we call as equilibrium condition. Condition of equilibrium, net force is zero. Do you all understand this? Can I have some raised hand that we understand this? Equilibrium. By equilibrium, we mean the net force acting on the body is zero. The body is at rest, it remains at rest. If the body is moving, it will continue its uniform motion. Does this statement remind you of something? Does this statement remind you of something? If a body is at rest, it will remain at rest, or a body moving with uniform motion in a straight line will continue its motion unless an external force acts on it. This property of the body is known as inertia, and this law is known as law of inertia or Newton's first law of motion. That is correct, Niharika. So Newton's first law of motion is basically dealing with the equilibrium of bodies. It tells us that if the net force acting on the body is zero, the body, if it is at rest, it will remain at rest. If it is moving with uniform velocity in a straight line, it will keep on moving with the same velocity in the same straight line unless disturbed by a force. Do we all understand this? Can I have some reason how we are bringing things together, how we are bringing equilibrium and how we are relating Newton's first law of motion with equilibrium? Do we understand this? Can I have some raised hands, please? So now you can also write Newton's first law of motion. You may also call it law of inertia. What is Newton's first law of motion or law of inertia? If a body is at rest, it remains at rest, or it is in uniform motion. It continues the same unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. This property is known as inertia, and the law is known as law of inertia or Newton's first law of motion. Do we all understand this? Can I have raised hand that we understand this, sir? Newton's first law of motion or law of inertia deals with inertia, or simply it deals with equilibrium of a body. Do you understand this? There are many ways in which you can state this law. There are many ways in which you can state this law. You might have read it in a different way. It's just a difference of words, nothing else. So don't get worried. Sir, we had read it in a different way. You are not you are now teaching it in a different way. Doesn't matter. The essence is, if there is no force acting on the body will remain at rest or will continue its uniform motion. You can state this in a variety of ways. Doesn't matter. The essence of it remains same, and that is what you must understand, that the essence of this should remain same. What I'll do now is try to tell you it in a different way from the notes. Doesn't matter. In whatever way we understand it, it's the same thing. So you can also state in this way. Everybody continues. Let me enlarge it. Everybody continues in a state of rest or state of uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled by some external force to act otherwise. Newton's first law, that is Newton's first law. It is also known as the law of inertia. It is also known as the law of inertia. And it is dealing with equilibrium of bodies. It is dealing with equilibrium of bodies, which implies the net force acting on the body is zero. The net force acting on the body is zero. The body remains at rest or the body continues its uniform motion. Do we understand this? Can I have some raised hands that we understand this, sir? Some raised hands will give me more confidence that we understand this, sir. Okay. Now, since we have understood this, the heading of today's class was that we'll be solving questions based on equilibrium. Questions which are based on equilibrium. Now, how do I solve this? So what I've done is I've made some steps of solving this question. Follow these steps. After a while, if you are practicing a lot, you will automatically follow these steps. Now, these are the steps to solve any problem from this chapter onwards. Because all of the problems that we'll encounter in the chapters coming forward, whether it is work power energy or it is center of mass, you'll have to do it in the same way. And the first and the most important aspect of solving any problem in physics is the first step: make a sketch. If ever you are able to do any problem in physics without drawing a diagram, you are lucky. Now, in NEET, as the case with you guys, you might escape yourself. You might not have to. You might not have to draw these diagrams. You can draw the diagram in a very short way because NEET is pretty damn simple for physics. But in general, any question based on Newton's laws or anywhere, you have to draw a very small sweet diagram. And as soon as you draw that diagram, you should be able to solve the question with that diagram. Without the diagram, you're bound to make mistakes, and every mistake will cost you marks. Every mark will cost you rank. Every rank will cost you your college, your medical college, that is. So please be very attentive. Please write the notes because I'm not sure whether you have this sheet or not. You have the sheet, you have the note, but just note this carefully, step by step. So the heading is questions on equilibrium, step by step solution. How do you solve them step by step? The problems based on equilibrium, step by step solution. That is what you will write. What is step number one? Anyone? What is step number one? Someone will unmute himself, herself, and tell me what is the step number one. Who will do that? Let me allow you to unmute. You will tell me what is step number one. No one? Abhiram, Akshay, Tanu, Tarun, Niharika. Can anyone tell me what is the first step of solving any problem? I've already marked it. Who will tell me this? No one? Yes, Niharika, tell me. Unmute yourself.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, beta, I can hear you.
Sir, the step number one is that we need to make a sketch of the problem.
By sketch, what we mean is draw a simple diagram. Just draw a simple diagram. Whatever question comes to you, just draw a simple diagram of the problem. That is always step number one. Well done. What about step number two? What is step number two? Anyone? Niharika, you can continue.
Sir, later we need to draw the free body diagram for the, and we need to label the forces.
Okay. As soon as you draw the sketch, there will be some bodies in the sketch. Maybe 3 bodies, 4, 5, 10, depending on how difficult is the question. You isolate each and every body. And the most important thing, draw the FBD, which we have been doing in the previous classes. Draw a free body diagram and label all external forces, all forces that you see. You only draw forces that you see and you don't draw forces that you don't see. What are the forces that you will see? Number one, gravity, vertically downwards, tension in the string, which is trying to pull things, and the normal reaction from ground or from surface, which always would be perpendicular to the surface. That is step number two. I hope all of you are noting this down. Can I have raised hand that all of you are noting this down while I am trying to explain this? You will have to note this down. Are you noting this down? Tarun is noting it. What about the others? Niharika also is noting this down. Abhiram is noting things down. Good. What about Akshay, Tanu, Vasant, Vishal? Are we noting this? You'll have to note this down. That is why I'm going very slow on this. Okay. What about step number 3? Who will explain or tell me what is step number 3? Niharika? Step number 3. No one is there? Abhiram, can you unmute yourself and tell me what is step number 3? Okay. No one can do it. I'll do it. Ekla chalo re. Okay, Abhiram, there must be a problem there. Understand it. Choose a convenient coordinate system. That means basically you have to choose a convenient x and y axis. Do not write this. Resolve all the forces. That will be step number 4. This is step number 4. So step number 3 is choose convenient coordinate system as x and y axis. Now, what do you mean by a convenient coordinate system? For example, let me cite an example here. For example, if a body is kept on ground, flat ground, body is kept on ground like this. The convenient system to choose here would be your y-axis should be like this and your x-axis should be like this. So you can here choose x and y-axis as your horizontal and vertical. That will be your x and y. Also, if you have something hanging from the ceiling, like this block is hanging from the ceiling, in this case also, the convenient axis would be vertical axis and horizontal axis. So you can call this as x-axis and you can call this as y-axis. That would be your chosen axis. So far, so good. But in certain cases, you might have to choose different axes as x and y, not the horizontal and vertical. What can be those cases? Let me just rub this out. If the block is kept on horizontal surface or it is hanging vertically, you can take x-axis and y-axis as horizontal and vertical. But if your block is kept like this on some incline, I have an inclined plane, and on this plane I have kept a block. Now, what should be your convenient axis here? What would be your convenient axis here? So remember, in this case, the convenient axis would be like this. Along the surface, you can draw your x-axis, and perpendicular to the surface, you can draw your y-axis. That will be more convenient for you to solve the question. Am I clear with everyone? That you'll have to choose. You will have to choose convenient axis as x and y. In most of the cases, you can choose horizontal as x and vertical as y, most of the cases. But in some cases where the block is kept on an inclined plane, as the case I have drawn here, it's always better, advisable to choose along the plane as x-axis and perpendicular to the plane as y-axis. Do we understand this? Can I have some reason that we understand this, sir? Along the plane x-axis, perpendicular to the plane y-axis. Only Niharika seems to be in the class. What about the others? Vishal, Akshay, Abhiram, Tanu, Tarun. Do we all understand this? That you have to choose convenient axis as x and y. That is step number 3. Choose convenient axis as x and y. What is step number 4? Step number 4 is what I have written here. Resolve all forces into x and y direction. Resolve all forces into x and y direction. Now, what do I mean by this? Resolve all forces. What is meant by this? Now, see, I'll give you two examples. Now, if I draw the free body diagram of this block here, mg, force of gravity, is coming vertically downwards. It's along y-axis. The normal reaction n is also along y-axis. Now, these forces are already along y-axis. I don't have to resolve them because they are already along y-axis. Gravity is downwards along y-axis. Normal reaction is upwards along y-axis. I don't have to resolve them. But if I draw a force here, F, now you can see this blue force F is going like this. It is not along x-axis. It is also not along y-axis. It is at an incline, at an angle. Now, what I got to do in step number 4, if I have such a force which is not along x-axis and y-axis, x-axis and y-axis are those axes which I have chosen. If there is one force or some forces which are not along x and y, what are we going to do? Yes, we'll have to resolve them. What do you mean by resolving them? If this angle is given as theta, now we'll have to go back to chapter number 1 of vectors, and that will help us in resolving these forces. This force is F, this angle is theta, this force is F, this angle is theta. How do I resolve them? How do I resolve them? So remember, this force is F and this angle is theta. How do I resolve it? I resolve it in this way. This becomes my F cos theta. This becomes my F cos theta, and this becomes my F sin theta. Do we all recollect this? How I resolve forces? If force F is like this, and this angle is theta, this component becomes F cos theta, and the other one becomes F sin theta. We have done it many times in vectors chapter. Do we all recollect this? Can I have raised hand that we recollect this, sir? So that is what is meant by step number 4. Resolve all forces along x and y axis. If there are some forces which is not along x and y, you will have to resolve them along x and y. Do we all understand this? Can I have some reason that we understand this, sir? Okay. Now look here. In this diagram, if I draw the forces, the gravity is downwards mg and the normal reaction is upwards n. Now this normal reaction is along my chosen y-axis, not a problem. I don't have to resolve it, but my weight is coming downwards and my x and y axis are not horizontal and vertical. So now I will have to resolve this weight. Remember this. How do I resolve this weight? If this angle is theta, the angle of incline is theta, then this component always becomes mg sin theta along the plane, and this component becomes mg cos of theta because this angle becomes my theta. So you will have to remember this. What do you have to remember? You can also find it out. You can remember this. If a body is kept on an incline, weight will always be downwards. The component of weight along the incline will be mg sine theta, and perpendicular to the incline, it would be mg cos theta. Do we understand this? Can I have some raise hand that we understand this, sir? So I've given you two examples of how you can resolve forces along x and y depending on the circumstance. You might get a question where you don't have to resolve any force. Well and good. But you might also get a question where you will have to resolve the force along x and y. So now we are done with 4 steps. Draw the sketch, draw the FBD, choose x and y, resolve forces along x and y. What is the last step? 5th step. Step number 5 is apply the equation that forces along x is equal to 0 and forces along y is equal to 0. This simply means that if along y-axis the particle is in equilibrium, the force along positive y will be equal to force along negative y. Force along positive x will be equal to force along negative x, because the net force acting on the particle has to be 0. So force on positive y should cancel force of negative y. Force of positive x should cancel force on the negative x. Do we understand this? Can I have some raise hand that we understand this? We'll have to apply the net force is 0. Force along positive x is equal to force along negative x. Force along positive y is equal to force along negative y. Now with this, you can move on to the next step, but next step is very evident. You will have from step number 5, you will have some equations. You'll have some equation with some unknowns. Depending on how many equations there are, the number of equations will depend on how many particles, how many bodies there are. So depending on the number of equations that you have made, you will have a number of unknowns. Solve that equation and you will get the value of these unknowns. Am I clear? Am I clear with this? Can I have some raise hand that we understand this? The steps to solve any problem in equilibrium. Step number 1, make a diagram. Step number 2, isolate all bodies, make free body diagrams. Step number 3, choose a convenient x and y axis. For most of the cases, horizontal is x, vertical is y. If something is kept on an inclined plane, along the incline is x, perpendicular to the incline is y. You choose a your axis. Then what do? You look at all the forces. If there are some forces which are not along x and y, resolve them along x and y. If a particle is a body is kept on an incline, downward along the incline is mg sine theta and perpendicular to the incline is mg cos theta. Then what do? You look at forces on x-axis. Positive x should be equal to negative x. Positive y should be equal to negative y. You will get a number of equations. Solve those equations and you are done with the problem. Do we all understand this? Can I have some reason that we understand this? That we will be able to solve problems of objects in equilibrium. Right? I'm lowering all hands and I'm again asking everyone, have you noted everything down that I have said till now? Have you noted this down? Okay. Do we all understand this? Do you all understand this? Okay. If you all understand this, now is the time that we solve some questions based on equilibrium. And we'll start with the simplest possible questions on equilibrium. Questions on equilibrium. Number 1, we'll start with the simplest possible. There is a block kept, mass is m. Now, what can be the unknown factor here? Obviously, this block is not moving, it is in equilibrium. You have to find the normal reaction. Find the normal reaction or contact force between the block and the ground or surface on which it is kept. This is a surface or ground on which this body is kept. The question is pretty damn simple. Find the normal reaction force or contact force between ground and this block. I'll give you time. Can anyone solve this? Okay. Let us follow step by step. Step number one was drawing a sketch. The sketch is already there. Step number two, draw a free body diagram. I've isolated, there's only one body. I've isolated it. I'll now draw the free body diagram. What is the free body diagram? Weight mg is downwards, normal reaction is upwards. Now I choose convenient axis as x and y. The most convenient axis here would be, this is my y-axis, this is my x-axis. This is my x, this is my y. I've chosen convenient axis as x and y. Done. Step number 3 done. Step number 4, resolve forces along x and y. As you can see here, there are only two forces, N and Mg. They're already along y-axis, so I don't need to resolve them. That step is gone. Step number 5, apply the equation. Force along x is 0, force along y is 0. There's no force along x, so forget about x. There's only force along y. Positive y must be equal to negative y. Yes or no? Do we understand this? Are we following this, everyone? Can I have some raise hand that we are following this? Nyarika follows this. What about the others? Tarun also follows this. What about the others? Tanu, Vasant, Akshay. Are we all there? Force along x, there is no force along x. Force along y, upwards is n, downwards is mg, n is equal to mg. You'll get equations. I got an equation. From this equation, we should be able to find out the value of unknown quantity. The value of unknown was n is equal to mg. We are done with the question. Do we understand this? How I've done this? I've just followed the simple logical steps. Each and every step was logical and it was in the same order. Apply those steps, you get your answer. Shall I give you another one? Question number 2. Okay. Now, whatever question I gave you, the value of G has to be taken as 10. So this is 5 kg block. I'm now giving you values. This is 5 kg block. There is one force F1, which is acting like this. There is another force F2, which is 10 Newton, acting like this at an angle of 37 degrees. So angle is also given. The question is find the value of F1 and the normal reaction from ground. You'll have to assume that the body is in equilibrium. So I will not say that again. The body is in equilibrium. The question is there for you. I'm waiting for your answer. Anyone got any answer? Please raise your hand so that I can ask you what do you think is the answer or how you have done this. Answers are not important. The important part here is the process that you follow in getting that answer. If your process is right, you will get the correct answer. I'm very sure about it. If you don't do any calculation mistake, I'm sure you will get the answer. Anyone has done this question? No one? Okay, let me try it then. First step, draw the sketch. Sketch is already there. Second step, draw the free body diagram, isolate the body. There is only one body, isolate it. Draw the free body diagram. Some diagram is already there. This is 10. This is F1 already there. Let me draw the other forces which are not drawn here. mg, mass is 5. G is 10. So 5 into 10 is 50. So weight is 50 newtons downwards. Is it kept on a surface? So normal reaction force is upwards, which is perpendicular. So I have drawn the free body diagram of this body. What is the next step? Choose convenient axis as x and y. What would be the convenient axis here? One would be your vertical axis, which is y. One would be a horizontal, which is x. Drawn. What next? Resolve forces along x and y. Now, if you look, this force is along x. Don't need to do anything. This force is along y, positive y. Don't need to do anything. This force is also along negative y. Don't need to do anything. But this one is at an incline. It is at an angle. So then I'll have to do something. I'll have to resolve it. This is 10. This is 37. So this side becomes 10 cos 37. Do we all agree on this? 10 cos 37. Cos 37 is 4 by 5. So 10 multiplied by 4 by 5. And the force on this side would be 8 Newton. So I can write 8 Newton. Do we all understand this? Can I have some raised hand that you understand this, sir? How I have done this? This is 10. This angle is 37. So this side becomes 10 cos 37. Cos 37 is 4 by 5. 10 multiplied by 4 by 5. I have 8 Newtons. Only Niharika understands this. What about the others? Tarun understands this. Vashant, Tanu, Vishal, Akshay, Abhiram. Okay. Now if this is 10 cos 37, this will become 10 sine 37. 10 multiplied by sine of 37 is 3 by 5. So this becomes 6 Newton. So upward force becomes 6 Newton. Downward force, rightward force becomes 8 Newton. What is the next thing? I've done step number 4. Step number 1, sketch. Step number 2, FBD. Step number 3, X and Y axis. Step number 4, resolving the forces. The next step is forces along X should equate. If you look at the forces along plus X axis, it is 8 Newton. So I'll just write equating forces. Equating forces. Equating forces along X axis. Equating forces along X axis. What is the force along positive X? It is 8 Newton. What is the force along negative X? It is F1. So I have F1 is equal to 8 Newton. Do we understand this? Anyone has any doubt, please raise it. Equating forces along X-axis. Negative X, F1. Positive X, 8 Newton. Nothing else. So F1 becomes 8 Newton. What about Y-axis? We also need to equate forces on the Y-axis. How much force is upwards? If you look at the upward force, I see one normal reaction N and I see 6 Newton. N and N might confuse you. So don't write Newton, just write 6 so that you don't get confused. And just write 10 so that you don't get confused. N and N might confuse you. So upward is N, upward is also 6. So upward force is N plus 6. Because if I write N plus 6N, you might say sir 7N. So N plus 6 is upwards. How much is downwards? As you can see, downwards is 50 newtons. Just write 50. N plus 6 is 50. That implies N will be 44 newtons. I'm not writing N, else it might create trouble for you. So I'm writing it as 44 newtons. And that is how I get the value of normal reaction and the force F1. Do we all understand this? Can I have some raised hand that we understand this, sir? This is pretty simple, sir. No problem with this one. We can easily do it on our own. You can do it? Yes or no? Chalo. Give you another one. Remember, the most basic thing is to draw the free body diagram. Now I have some block hanging. Let us say the mass of this block is M. Question is pretty simple. Find tension T in the string. What is the tension T in the string if this block is hanging by the string? Obviously, this block is in equilibrium. Can I have your answers, please? So how will you do this? Anyone? Anyone knows how to do this? Please raise hands. Abhiram, tell me how to do this. How will you do this? How will you do this? Okay, the first step, draw a sketch. Sketch is already there. Second step, isolate body. Draw free body diagram. Body is only one, so it is isolated. Draw free body diagram. Mg, weight coming downwards. Tension in the string will pull it. Then this is the free body diagram of the ceiling. No one is asking you what is the free body diagram of the ceiling. I just drawn it. So this is the free body diagram. Choose convenient axis as x and y. Here, this is my y and this is my x. Resolve forces along x and y. I don't have to resolve anything because both the forces, whether it is mg or t, they are coming along y-axis. What do I do next? Equate the forces. There is no force on the x-axis, so that does not make any sense. There's only force on the y-axis, so we must equate force on the y-axis. Upwards is t, downwards is mg. That is my answer. Tension in the string is equal to mg, where m is the mass of this body. Do we understand this? Can I have some reason that we understand this, sir? How I have done this? No one understands this? Niharika understands. Tarun? Abhinav? Tanu? Where are you, beta? Vishal? Akshay? Okay. I'll give you 2 questions today for homework. And let me see if you can do these questions. Okay, Tanu. Good to see you that you are there. Don't respond, so I get worried. Where is Tanu? So here I have a diagram. I think we have drawn the free body diagram. That's why I've drawn this. So in this question, you have to find, I think there are 2 strings and 3 blocks. You have to find the value of M, which is this mass. Find the tension in strings. There are 2 strings, so you have to find tension in both the strings, and the normal reaction N. I hope you understand the normal reaction will be acting on this block 5 kg, which is on the ground or the surface. So that is question number 1. Do we all understand this question? Can I have raised hand that we understand this question, sir? And we would be able to find out the answer for this one. Tension. There are 2 tension. This is string number 1 and this is string number 2. So you have to find out both the tensions. Can you do that? Can I have some raise hand that we can do that, sir? No? Yes? Hope is there. You can at least try. When you try, you will get your answer. Don't worry. And now, again, I will end this with the same question that I gave you in the last class. I think this was the question that I gave in the last class. Now I will call this mass as M. This is the ground. Please don't get terrified by this question. This question is pretty damn simple. This is attached to this wall. Okay. So what you are supposed to find out? You are supposed to find out the value of M. You are supposed to find out the tension in the strings. I hope you understand there are 2 strings here. This is string number 1 and this is string number 2. And you are supposed to find out the normal reaction. The normal reaction is definitely going to come on this block. So these are the 2 questions that I've given to you. In both the questions, you have to find the value of mass M, tension in the string. In both the questions, you have 2 strings and the normal reaction. In both the questions, you have 1 normal reaction. I will be waiting for your answers. I'll be looking forward to seeing your answers in the group. I hope you try this, and I hope it is fun for you to try this because we have learned something new, learned something fascinating, and that is why physics is so fascinating. You always learn something new and you can actually put it to use. On that note, I'll wind off today's class. I hope you enjoyed this class. I'll meet you in the next class day after tomorrow. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Bye bye.